Hello everyone, this is Ashley Tucker. Thank you for joining me today. Today I am sharing this really simple Halloween card featuring the Little Boo Agenda stamp set from Mama Elephant. I started out with a piece of royal purple cardstock from Simon Says Stamp, and I have that in my Misti Tool, and I'm going to be stamping the spiderweb background stamp onto that with some VersaFine ONYX black ink. The VersaFine ONYX black ink is a sticky pigment ink and it takes a long time to dry, which means you can emboss with it. So I did prep that paper with a powder bag before stamping because I wanted to emboss this with some rainbow sparkle embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. This embossing powder is a clear embossing powder with tiny little pieces of colorful glitter in it, and because it has that glitter, I am heating it up from the back side of the cardstock. This just kind of helps to ensure that the glitter doesn't fly off the paper while you're embossing. I cut the panel down to 4 by 5 1/4, and then I took some Distress Oxide ink in the color Black Soot, and I'm blending that along all of the edges just to darken them up and give the panel kind of a vignette look. I took out the Little Boo Agenda stamp set, and I picked out 9 different ghosts from that set, and I'm stamping them onto some Neenah Classic Crest Solar White cardstock with my Gina K Designs Jet Black Amalgam ink. I'm going to color these in using my Copic markers, and I will have all of the marker caps off to the side in case you want to see the colors that I'm using. In order to give these white ghosts a little bit of shading, I took a really light gray marker and I'm just adding a small touch of that to all of the ghosts. I wanted these ghosts to be very, very bright white to look almost like they're glowing, so I didn't want to add a whole lot of shadow. For all of the little accessories that these ghosts have, I wanted to keep the colors very Halloween themed, so I'm going to be using a lot of oranges, a lot of greens, and a lot of purples. In order to try and speed up the coloring process, every time that I took out a new set of colors, I tried to make sure that I would color in everything that I wanted to be in those colors at the same time. For example, with the oranges, I knew I wanted the pumpkin and the candy and the ribbon on the hat to be orange, so I colored all of those at the same time. Now, there were 1 or 2 times where I had to come back in with a color because I had missed something, but even with those times, I find this to be one of the fastest ways to color. In order to color like this, you do kind of have to plan it out in the beginning so that you know where all the colors are going. So if that's not really your style of coloring, if you like to just jump in and not really plan it out, then this method is probably not for you, and that's fine. I kind of jump back and forth between coloring styles. About half the time I will color like this where I plan it all out and I try to color very fast. And the other half of the time I just feel like relaxing and coloring and picking colors as I go. One thing that I wanted to point out with the coloring, if you'll take a look at the ghost in the upper left-hand corner, I added some yellow along his face, and that's because of the candle that he's holding in his hand. I really wanted to add some of the light that would be shining on his face from that candle. I think that little touches like that make your coloring even more special. While I finish up the coloring here, I wanted to take a moment to talk about my channel. In case any of you might have noticed, it's been a little while since I had a video. I think it's been a little over a week. I'm not exactly sure, but I just wanted to let you all know that the reason I didn't do a video for so long is because I got really sick, and I didn't forget about all of you. I literally could not get out of bed, so I could not get any videos done until now. But now that I am feeling better, videos should start coming at a normal pace again. Anyways, the last thing that I did for the coloring is I took my colorless blender and I just colored right along the edge of the shading on the ghosts, and that helps to kind of fade out the edge of the shading so that it looks more like it blends in with the white. For the sentiment, I picked out the stamp which says Booyah, and I stamped that with Versamark ink onto some Bazzill licorice twist cardstock, and then I embossed that with Alabaster white embossing powder. I created an A2 size card base out of some black licorice twist cardstock, and then I adhered my background panel onto that using my ATG gun. I added little pieces of foam tape to the back of all of the ghosts, and before I actually removed the backing paper on that foam tape, I played around with the placement and figured out a layout that I really liked for these ghosts. And once I was happy with a layout, I started to remove that backing paper, and then I placed my ghosts. I cut my sentiment into a small strip and I added some foam tape to the back of it, and then I very carefully lined it up so that it's centered in the bottom portion of the panel. Alright, now it's time for some finishing touches. The first thing that I did is I took my Spectrum Noir glitter brush and I added some sparkle to the sentiment. Then I took a white gel pen and I just added a few highlights here and there on all of the accessories for the ghosts. And then the last thing that I did is I took that glitter brush back out and I just added a little bit of sparkle along the edge of the ghosts, just on one side. And I really like the way that this came out. It's really difficult to see on camera, but I think that in real life it looks really special. After that, this card is all done, and here's a closer look so you can kind of see all of that sparkle. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you really enjoyed this card design using that little Boo agenda stamp set from Mama Elephant. All of the supplies that I used for today's card can be found in the description down below. And remember that anytime you click on one of my links, you're helping to support this channel at no extra cost to you. If you enjoyed watching today, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I do new videos every single week, and I'm going to be back with another one really soon. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.